Let's deconstruct a murder. A simple house cleaning job is the cover story. But the real plan? It's a perfectly engineered trap. And one unsuspecting woman? Well, she's the weapon.
So, how do you actually frame an innocent person for murder and just walk away clean? You don't just need a brilliant plan. No, you need the perfect pawn. And here she is. Meet Millie Calloway. She is a perfect storm of vulnerabilities. She's got a prison record, which makes her untrustworthy. She's desperate for cash, which makes her easy to manipulate. And her fatal flaw? She just can't resist helping a woman in trouble. She is the perfect person for the job.
Okay, so the pawn is in place. Now let's set the trap. We are stepping right inside the illusion, and we're going to see it all through Millie's eyes. Welcome to this gorgeous luxury penthouse on the Upper West Side. But right away, nothing adds up. I mean, who folds their dirty laundry? And then there's this woman with these haunting green eyes, hiding behind a locked door. Every little detail is just screaming that something is deeply, deeply wrong here. The man Millie thinks is Douglas Garrick, the husband, he starts spinning this story. His wife, Wendy, she's not well. Just leave her alone, he says. He's playing the part of the concerned husband, and he's playing it well. But unwell doesn't quite explain this. A bloody handprint on the sink. The story just shatters. This isn't illness. This is violence. And the trap? It's working perfectly. And then the victim speaks. Wendy, covered in what looked like fresh bruises, whispers, "He broke my wrist." And just like that, Millie's fatal flaw is triggered. She's all in. There is absolutely no turning back now. And just when you think things can't get any more intense, Wendy shows her a hidden gun. The penthouse has just become a powder keg. It is no longer a question of if it's going to explode, but when. So, the stage is set, the pawn is emotionally invested, and now it's time for the trap to spring shut. It all happens so fast. You hear an argument, a struggle, the man is choking Wendy. Millie doesn't even think. She just grabs the gun, she fires. And the man she thinks is Douglas Garrick is dead on the floor.
And right in the middle of all that chaos, Wendy delivers the final perfect line. "Just leave," she says. "I'll take care of this." It sounds like a promise of protection, right? But what it really is a death sentence. And the evidence? Oh, it's perfect. A burner phone with faked text to prove an affair. A diamond bracelet planted in Millie's things. A motel room rented to look like a secret rendezvous. And, of course, the gunshot residue on Millie's clothes. It is an absolutely airtight case. But that airtight case? It's all a lie. So now, I want you to erase everything you think you know. Let's pull back the curtain and meet the real mastermind behind this whole thing. We have been watching a masterclass in illusion, so now let's redraw the truth, this time through the eyes of the architect herself, Wendy Garrick. So the entire trap, every single piece of it, was built on one massive lie, that her husband Douglas was abusive. And the truth? Get this. YouTube makeup tutorials. The bruises, the fear, it was all pure theater. So why would she do all this? Well, the motive is incredibly simple. It's this number, 0. That's how much money she would get in a divorce, all thanks to an infidelity clause in their prenup. See, she'd been caught cheating. The calculation was just cold, hard, and simple. If Douglas divorced her, she gets nothing. But if Douglas died, she stood to inherit millions. This was never, ever about escaping abuse. It was about cashing in. And the real plan? Oh, it was a masterpiece. The man Millie killed, that wasn't Douglas at all. That was Wendy's lover, Russell. And the gun, it was loaded with blanks. After Millie ran for her life, Wendy lured the real Douglas over, and then, with real bullets, she shot and killed her husband, perfectly framing Millie for a murder that happened long after she was gone. So Wendy thinks she's won, right? She's got the perfect alibi, the perfect pawn, but here's the thing about even the most perfect plans. You can't control for everything. And a couple of unforeseen consequences are about to unravel her entire world. The very first domino to fall? A hidden security camera in the living room. Wendy never knew it was there. And the footage is absolutely damning. It shows the real Douglas arriving after Millie has already fled the scene. Her entire timeline is destroyed. The second blow comes from a phone call. It's the lawyer. And it turns out, Douglas changed his will just last week. The entire fortune is gone, donated to charity. The whole murder, the entire elaborate scheme, it was all for nothing. And the final wild card? Well, it's the human element. Wendy used her lover, Russell, as a disposable pawn in her game, but she never stopped to think about his wife, Mary Beth. And now, Mary Beth is here, and she wants revenge.
And this is how the mastermind's plan ends. Not in a mansion full of money, but in a remote cabin. Cornered by a knife-wielding Mary Beth, Wendy is forced to write a full confession. And then she's handed a fatal dose of poison.
But here is the final, absolutely stunning twist. Where did Mary Beth get that poison? From Millie. Turns out our perfect pawn paid Mary Beth a little visit, gave her the poison, and set the final piece of justice in motion herself. Which leaves us all with one last question. Was Millie ever really the pawn, or was she the final player in a game no one else even knew she was playing?